Yes, thanks, AJ. I have been talking literally the entire time, and this scene did not have the correct mic identified, which sucked because I had tons of great commentary that you guys missed out on. And Opie gets away clean with the red purloin from the start, gulps the drink, manages to get away. Lazybear doesn't end up low-lighting him. And as we can see here, Opie just turned what was a very bad start into a very possible win. We'll see if Lazybear is going to catch this green swap right at the start. He does zoom in. Comes off soon, he knows that it's green, and he goes for the shot onto Opie. What a great comeback by Lazybear to bring back that missed purloin and take the green swap. Probably somewhat predictable from Opie. We know that Opie likes to play very aggressive. He's a big proponent of rushing and doing hardtails right in the sniper's face. And it's very possible that Lazybear knew about the fingerprint here, so OpiWrites picks up a ton of suspicion for finishing inspect and getting fingerprint, and then Lazybear just ready for that green fade. It is right in the open and takes the appropriate shot. Lazybear going up 1-0. This is a tournament. We will have tournaments on some weekends here and there where we all play one venue and it's a short little tournament. This is all the winners of those tournaments into one super venue tournament. So we're going to see a lot of Aranda. We're going to see a lot of Modern because I think those were the ones that they won on. Lazybear was also the winner of a lot of those. So he has he I think got a bye in the bracket, which I can show later because he won so many venue tournaments. So we'll see what happens next. Lazybear on Irish. Goes for the immediate green time ad. A little bit risky with the ambassador being there. Opie's eyes should be on that side of the venue at that point, but so far seems to have gotten away with it. I don't think it's necessarily something that OpiWrites would highlight for anyways. Lazybear jumping into the good spot for a reverse drive-by here, and OpiWrites ends up highlighting probably for the green time ad suspicion, and OpiWrites knows to guard this angle right where Irish just went. Opie will be very suspicious of people that go to the spots where you can get a good reverse drive-by bug. No mission progress thus far for Lazybear. He still has some extra time because of the time ad, but he's just now getting started on the green flirt. So really that time ad, all it's done is got him suspicion, got him a highlight. It's Opie has it narrowed to 2, I believe, for the green time ad. He requests to drink so that he can grab the fingerprint off of this. Picks up his first fingerprint, and he's just playing it slow thus far. Again, Lazybear just playing it slow. I don't know if it's because he recognizes that he's a suspect or if that's just going to be a part of his normal game plan. Ends up getting the 2 flirt here. So he timer flirts with, I think, Oprah. Finishes out flirt, but he's got a lot of missions to go on a 5 of 8 with only 3 minutes, which seems like a lot of time, but it's really not. He may go for this just pure walking bug here. Irish's walking bug is pretty good. Unfortunately, the ambassador leaves, so he's not able to grab that. Steps into conversation with the real double agent, so we're likely to see the banana bread come soon. Unfortunately, the DA leaves, so we're going to stick around and probably do one talk and then leave ourselves. And we're going to bail and try to get some mission progress here. Headed to the back, we chase the real double agent, but also chase our seduction target. And again, a reminder that Opie has this narrowed down to possibly 2 people. Those 2 are the ones that are highlit, and the DA bails on us again. 2 minutes on the clock, and we've got seduce and 1 fingerprint. He's gonna need to probably get this purloin. He elects not to go for it, though. Two minutes left. Lazybear is gonna have to do a lot of stuff to get into the mission win situation here. He may just go for a frame. There's been no contact, so Opie shouldn't have any lowlights. From Lazybear's perspective, Opie is not one to really lowlight for much other than outside of conversation for BB. Maybe some kind of good pathing or briefcase redirect. Joins the conversation with the DA again. Let's hope that he can stay this time. Goes for a real contact. It is a white, but we're kind of over General's shoulder. Hopefully it ends up in a stop talk. It is a stop talk. Opie takes the lowlights. No purloin, which is great for Lazybear because he would have been shot due to the current highlights. And he may actually lose some suspicion because that would have been a purloin that you would expect Lazybear to do right there as Irish, kind of hidden. It's post-contact. If that list was gone, Opie surely would have shot Irish, so he may lose some suspicion for not purloining in that moment. And he's going to have to find a fingerprint and then get inspect swap, or inspect into purloin, but the timing is just going to be rough. We go for a white purloin behind General. It's seen by Opie. He lines up the shot. He's waiting. Goes for the ankle shot. He's having a hard time, looking a little nervous on taking that shot, but he does find the appropriate one. Ties it up 1-1. Yeah, so really Opie just catching that green timeout and narrowing it down to 2 people. I wonder who... Okay, so Bling Twin... Was it that front window? Or wait, did he highlight Plain Twin? No, he highlight. I can't see. Oh, well, the other twin is an SDA, so it has to be that one. Yeah, he was at the window there. So we're tied up 1-1. Opie heading in as Duke. Gonna start out at blue books, which is surprising. I expect this to probably be a slower round by Opie then if he's not going for any type of early cheese. It's pretty indicative, I think, of how Opie is going to play the round. He does go for the microfilm with the right hand behind the window pane and curtain there. A bit of luck that he had that lined up so perfectly. Or skill. Goes for a walking bug. Lands it, and I don't think he's even suspected. Great bug by OpiWrites. Very aggressive early. And he's just going to idle here. See if Opie keeps his foot on the gas. Looks like he's going to step into conversation with his seduction target and get a little bit of flirt progress. Being very patient on his flirt. Surprising he didn't just rush it straight out. A little bit frustrated that he got a 48%. That means that he cannot finish the game in 2 flirts. The highest that you can get is 51, which would result in a 99% for him. So he's going to have to flirt 2 more times to complete that mission. I don't expect him to timer flirt here. There's just a lot of stuff that he has to do, including another microfilm at green book, or red, but it's probably going to be at green. So I'm surprised that he's still waiting this out. He might go for an innocent talk and then contact afterwards. The conversations are quite full. He can see most of them. So he may just go. Yeah, here goes the real banana bread. He tried to go for a green contact at
Banana
the
bread.
end of his innocent talk animation, but ends up hitting the white action test nonetheless. I don't think that many people have real. We'll see how Lazybear dissects this contact and what he's prioritizing. Opie ends up leaving post-contact, which could be very suspicious. Something that Lazybear might pick up on is people leaving their conversation with the SDA post-contact, pretty soon. And I'm interested to see what Opie's plan was here. Okay, yeah, this was just to wait a little bit so he can step into Green Book and get this microfilm. The left side of Lazybear's view is a little cut off here, so we'll see if he goes for the microfilm. Here goes the microfilm. It is a green, but the ending look left animation from Opie was on Lazybear's screen on the left side. It was on screen, but I don't think it was seen. Visible, but not seen. I believe that at that moment, Lazybear was focusing more on the guest list rather than Duke going for the microfilm, which means that Duke is really not a high-level suspect if he was not watching and didn't catch that microfilm. I don't think that Opie is on Lazybear's radar at all right now. We did just see these two players play in the Spy Party Pact Invitational Tournament. I think it was last weekend. They met in bracket, and OpiWrites ended up pulling out a 7-1 victory over Lazybear, which was very surprising. They're both very high level. Their sets usually very close. So I think Lazybear just having an off day. We'll see if he can pull it back here. And we see a white purloin that results in a civilian getting shot. And again, I just think that that game, Opie was just really not on Lazybear's radar at all right there. So that's going to be a spy win for OpiWrites. And let's take a look at that bug real quick before we hop into the next round, because it, I believe, is a good bug. I mean, it's just an unexpected timing. It's just so blatant that you're just really not expecting this from a player like Opie, or at this level of gameplay. It's just not one that you're necessarily just prepared for. It's also not Time of Chaos, but kind of just finishing out Time of Chaos, and you just don't expect a player of this at these levels to just go for an outright bug like this. So OpiWrites really gambling it all right there and comes out ahead. So we're gonna have to have Lazybear get a spy win here to tie it up as Seek. See how it pans out. One thing that I really do like about this Super Venue tournament format is that they are playing the same, two venues a lot, and I find it quite fun to play the same venue with an opponent over and over for like a longer period of time, because a meta of how you're playing that venue really starts to develop, and just there's just not that constantly changing variable of like, I don't know, the venue changing. So you can see some interesting like little mini metas develop between the two as the sets go on longer. Usually when I play casuals, I will play like the same venue unless my opponent changes it. I'll play, 30 games of Gallery or something like that. Opie just guarding the Ambassador here. It may have been a moment where Lazybear could have popped off a early green purloin over on Toby. Nice redirect from Briefcase from Lazybear, hoping to get a low light by OpiWrites or lose some suspicion. Not that he has any, but try to gain some credit as an AI, I suppose.
Banana bread.
Early white contact. It's pretty good. There's a lot of people in. Typically, you don't want to early contact on Veranda because you've got to do so many other missions that you don't want to narrow down the party before you have to go and do a bunch of stuff. Drink being offered, it ends up being a reject. But when you have a good opportunity with a lot of people in, you tend to go for it. Opie with a lot of camera movement. I would read this as Opie being very confident here. You tend to slow down if you're really trying to catch stuff. We did just see a safety off toggle onto Smallman to confirm that he has someone that he's confident in, so he's willing to move around. and forego the kind of the things that you could see by being still. Yeah, he's really favoring Smallman here, just keeping him on screen, watching for the microfilm. And we have a situation where Lazybear is not on Opie's radar. Just like last round, Opie was not on Lazybear's radar as spy. So we'll see if Lazybear can convert it in the same way that Opie did. Opie with possibly some flexible highlights here. I don't know why the highlight went onto boots. Maybe he was just predicting her going to statues? Smallman in a suspicious spot in that conversation, kind of hiding in the back there. It could build up more evidence in Opie's eyes that Smallman is the spy. But Lazybear, again, having issues with pacing here. A minute left on Veranda and only has contact and 2/3 of a flirt done. Goes for the time ad. It is a white. If Opie catches this, he can lowlight Smallman. It doesn't seem like it's been caught. We haven't seen any reaction from Laser. Pretty sure that he got away clean with that time ad. Opie's still checking list. And unfortunately for Lazybear, Smallman is just hanging out in the back of this conversation and not getting anything done. Lazybear not in a good position. Back down to about a minute left with very little mission progress. All Opie has to do is be patient here and rely on his mission counting. We do go for the Purloin. It ends up being green. It doesn't look like Opie's necessarily tracking Purloin right now. I think he's focused mostly on the Ambassador and this bug, and we get a reject from the next person. Be curious to see if Lazybear wants to stay at the scene of the crime or elects to leave. We have another reject from General who bails and leaves out. This Purloin is going to be an absolute mess for Opie to analyze here. It ends up being taken. Fade cannot be seen because Toby pulls away with this viewing angle, and he now sees that it's gone. He didn't even know that it was gone and that Queen was the taker. We see a highlight onto Mom and Queen. Lazybear realizes it's his time to get stuff done. This is likely going to be a swap. It's a difficult fingerprint on the statue. He goes for the swap. It is a white. He only has 10 seconds. He's not even close to mission completing. He's got to get bug and a green flirt. It's going to have to result in a time ad here. He jumps at the window. 3 seconds left. Checks watch. Lands the green time ad with 1 second left on the clock. Opie knows that it's hanging, and now he could be suspicious of a green swap. Queen over on the far right statue set. Opie likely thinking that a green swap coming from her. I don't think he's even checked the back left statues at all. I don't believe that Seek is on Opie's radar one bit. But Lazybear has a tall order here. He got the swap off on the back statue, but he did not pick up an inspect in the process. Join the seduction target there at Windows. She bails before he could finish it, and Lazybear likely thinking about going for another time ad because he's got 30 seconds and not enough time to get what he needs to finish this out. He could go for this bug. He's not. Yeah, goes for the time ad. It ends up being red, so a little bit of panic from Lazybear here. And he was behind the pillar. OpiWrites credits the time ad to the twin. Seek was behind the pillar, joins the conversation, pops up the flirt and lands it. And Lazybear doesn't know it, but he can easily get this done. Takes a standing bug. I'm not sure how that is even possible. And OpiWrites shoots the twin while Seek is in mission win countdown. Look at this standing bug. He's in front of him, but it's close enough. Lazybear being blessed by the Ambassador here, gets a bit of luck that he needs at the end. And let's take a look at that time ad again. Here, the red time ad. From Opie's perspective, he's just behind the pillar too much, and Opie's just not noticing it. And I think that's also a result of Lazybear just not being on Opie's radar that entire game. Lazybear bringing it back to 2-2 with a sieve shot of his own. OpiWrites stepping in his rocker, and we're seeing such a drastic playstyle difference in Spy here. Lazybear really struggling with pacing, trying to cram all of his missions at the end, whereas OpiWrites is going for a little bit more of an even spread on his missions. Try to just kind of stay relatively moderately active throughout the entire round and just work on missions all throughout. Lazybear kind of idling for the first 80% of the game and then trying to do stuff at the end. I don't think that Opie ever noticed that swap. I don't think Opie ever noticed that swap. I don't recall him rotating back to check that statue at all. Yeah, the bug is definitely in range on that last one. It's just the proximity of the circles. It doesn't matter, whether they're in front of you, behind you, sideways, whatever. Ambassador dropping off a fingerprint at one of the front statues. Man, I should have eaten breakfast. This is going to be such a long cast, and I'm super hungry. I might try to eat in between talking. Just toggle mute. Oh, you know what? I should have casted this on Spy Party GG. Man, that's what I wanted to do. Didn't think about it. Smallman, a highlight again, picks up the briefcase. We have an SDA smudging that front statue, and OpiWrites playing snail pace. No mission progress, doing absolutely nothing. He did request a drink. We'll see if he's going to pop off a purloin. He requested a drink, but Toby went to the person next to it, so maybe he canceled it in some way. He may have done a Twitch to cancel the request, but to bring Toby over here. So Opie's likely going for a frame this game with so little mission progress. And it looks like while I'm looking away, OpiWrites ends up going for the purloin. As expected, OpiWrites really going for some type of frame here. He goes for the front cross-conversation bug that Lazybear got last round, but unfortunately Lazybear is just on top of it, and we're going to see Rocker's arm stick through here. With Duke being a low light, that just really stands out. If Duke wasn't a low light, it's possible he gets away with that. Really, you needed someone. Really, he needed to wait for Smallman to step right there. If Smallman steps right there, at that moment, that bug is pretty much not going to be seen, right? So Opie not having enough patience to land that bug, and it means that Lazybear is going to take a point on Sniper and go up 3-2 in the set. Lazybear stepping in his Bling Twin. We'll see if Lazybear's going to switch up his playstyle. So far it's been extremely slow into rushing the beginning, or rushing the end rather. Steps into conversation with the double agent. I wonder if he's going to go for one of these early contacts again. The problem with this is he can't see who's on the other side of the venue, so his frame targets will be unreliable. He has such a small pool of people that he could reliably frame from being at that green. Goes for a bug while walking. I wasn't necessarily looking myself. Opie is always very much on top of bugs, but he ends up staking it, and I think that Lazybear just got away with a bug right in front of Opie. So let's see if Lazybear can convert this into a mission win without running out of time and without time adding. If he's going to continue to slow pace, Opie may learn to just camp time adds. Lazybear chasing down the seduction target over to green books, crossing the venue to do so, steps in and goes for the instant flirt, lands the green up to 51%. He's now got 51% flirt and a bug with 2 minutes and 45 left on veranda. Purloin between green and red, not really an option right now. It's pretty dead. Most people are on the other side of the venue, but it looks like some are starting to move over. OpiWrites really camping the Ambassador over on the left side near Lazybear. Ambassador ends up leaving, and Opie is going to rotate out. It may have been a good opportunity for Lazybear to stay on that side of the venue and go for another swap in the back. However, he elects to move up to the front left statue set, and work on his first set of inspects. Again, I'm not liking how much Opie is rotating his camera. I think he could be missing quite a bit by doing that. Something that I used to do a lot, and Kaylee, I think, gave me a hard time for it, and so I stopped, and I noticed that it is a bit easier to parse the information by not moving the camera so much. He ends up going for a white microfilm over at blue. Laser's completely rotated out. I believe it's off screen. He also finishes flirt at blue with the seduction target. Hits another green, so we've got flirt done, 2 inspects, bug, a blue microfilm in pocket, and Lazybear making really good progress spread over the time here. This is so far a great round of Spy by Lazybear, and very unlike his previous rounds. Not suffering from the pacing issues that he had before. We are going to see the white
Banana
contact
bread.
here, as expected. Opie ends up taking 4-ish lowlights. And Lazybear already on the move post-contact to go and finish up the inspect. Now, the danger here is that Lazybear is going to be relying his last mission to be an action test microfilm, not a direct transfer. He's going to have to microfilm. Opie rotating around to see that Lazybear has finished inspect, however has not picked up the highlight as of yet. Opie zooms in onto Lazybear to pick up the highlight. Lazybear has to recognize that highlight after just putting down the statue. He's going to go for the microfilm anyways because he sees that the laser is not guarding it well enough, puts the book away, enters mission win countdown. I don't think Opie is onto it at all, more so watching Purloin and the Ambassador, rotating around to watch the Ambassador, just leaving us completely free. And Lazybear picks up a clean mission spy win on Veranda against Opie. After also winning Sniper, he is now in the lead 4-2. Probably completely unexpected. Opie not expecting such a clean, evenly paced spy game from Lazybear after he spent the first handful of them just struggling to mission win. So a good change up in pacing by Lazybear there. And we're going to have OpiWrites also stepping in as Blink Twin the Spy from the last round. Let's see if he can clap back with a spy win of his own. Be interested to see if Opie goes for any kind of rush here. Goes for a seduce at the windows on the far left, which has a lot of visual congestion right now, but the seduction target ends up leaving. Goes for a bug, a wraparound bug that must have been a wrong arm. It was a great bug, and Lazybear goes for a secretive highlight. He didn't just snap to Opie and highlight him because Lazybear doesn't want Opie to know that Lazybear's onto him, so he just paths past and takes the highlight on the way. That's a big part of, I think, some high-level player, just intermediate player, whoever's doing it, is highlighting the spy without having them know it by trying to kind of passively, right? Something that I call passive highlights, where you just path by them or you wait a while. You don't want the spy to know that you know as the sniper so that they will continue to do suspicious things and you can get your confirmation to shoot. So Lazybear going for that passive highlight onto OpiWrites. And Lazybear just going for some kind of behavioral lowlight strategy here. Lowlight's half of the party. There's been no time ad, there's been no purloin, there's been no swap. And Lazybear greatly narrowing down the party. This is some type of behavioral read that I think, or it's a fandom swap. I think this is mostly people that have been to statues, so Lazybear might be reading into Opie's general playstyle as spy thus far, recognizing that he would be going to statues or doing some kind of mission. OpiWrites, in the meantime, is going to take a blue microfilm on the far right side of the venue. Steps into conversation to pick up flirt. And OpiWrites really, the pacing has been pretty spread thus far in terms of his mission progress, but I don't know if he has enough to really be on track. He's still got to get microfilm, he's still got to finish flirt, he has no inspect progress, and he's got to find a fingerprint. Goes for the briefcase, and unfortunately, Oprah nabs it. Heads into Red Book, where I guess there's a fingerprint as well. Finishes out fingerprint, is holding the Red Book. He's going to stand in a conversation by himself and read and go for the microfilm, but Lazybear is on top of it, notices the white action test, and takes the appropriate shot. Lazybear now up 5-2 on Veranda. What it's starting to feel like, I just feel like Opie's getting a little bit tilted looking at his gameplay. I could completely be off, but it's going to require a lot of resolve for him to come back from a 2-5 deficit, and he's going to have to really dig deep to not get tilted and just give up at this point, because playing Lazybear and losing that many times in a row can feel very kind of defeated or frustrating. So he's got to find some kind of switch up here in his playstyle to try and come back against Lazybear. I expect that Opie at this point, he's got to take a little bit higher of a risk reward and probably go for a bit of a rush. I think a rush on his spy would be good at this point. Eternal Lurker in chat. I was worried that you tilted him before he even started. I did warm up Opie and beat him 6-4, but I don't know if that would tilt him. Maybe. Maybe it would. I think Lazybear the highest seed in this specific tournament. However, as I did mention earlier, they just played the other weekend in the Super Venue or in the PAX Invite, and OpiWrites beat him 7-1. So Lazybear looking for a chance at redemption here, stepping in his boots. Early drink offer. Takes an innocent drink, no purloin. I like the move by Lazybear. I think that from Opie's perspective, he's probably expecting for Lazybear to keep the pressure, keep the gas on, and taking an innocent drink right there. I would be thinking as Opie, if Lazybear was boots, he probably would have went for a green purloin. So Lazybear really playing with Opie and kind of going fast, slow, and I think that's very powerful because it can change the expectations of the sniper. Of, you know, are they going to play fast? Are they going to be on pace? Are they going to be off pace? And really trying to go back and forth can throw off that sniper. So we'll see if Lazybear has a drastically different outcome this time. Last round he just played a very clean, evenly paced spy. We'll see what he does this time. Steps into conversation with Mom, hits the 51% flirt into a stop talk, and is going to take a sip of this innocent drink. Last sip of the drink. And for now, it's just hanging out with the ST. Probably going to timer flirt this. Lots of spy wins, Pofke. We have civ shots, we have mission wins. It's been quite interesting. We had a really intense spy win by Lazybear where he was kind of behind the pillar when he did a red timeout at the end of the game, and OpiWrites didn't really see him just because of the angle that he had and attributed it to one of the twins and ended up civ-shotting them. Meanwhile, Lazybear was a low light in finishing flirt with a cross conversation bug because it was one of the tiny convos. He bugged the ambassador while the ambo was like in front of him. These snipers must be bad. They're alright. Yeah, Lazybear for the most part was struggling with having good pacing on Spy, and then one of the games he just had good pacing. But for the most part, he's been really struggling to complete, and at the end having to time add. Opie's had some really clean bugs, and but Lazy Bear just ends up catching him for other stuff. Meanwhile, in this particular round, Lazy Bear runs over to the right side of the venue, lands a white swap, hops onto blue books, and this is one of the parts that I love about Miranda. Lazy Bear can see that Opie is way rotated, and he knows that he has a specific amount of time until Opie would be able to rotate and see that statue. So he goes for that cheese swap and grabs the book to try and tell the sniper, oh, I was just at books, I was nowhere near the statues. So we'll see how Lazy Bear plays this. I would like to see him get even farther away from this spot, probably when this idle animation resets now. However, the seduction target steps into conversation, so you're definitely going to keep that. Lands the seduce, ends up finishing flirt, and I expect him to probably leave combo at this point. Could step in with the DA, but again, I'd like to see Lazy Bear just get away from this swap statue. Decides to stay with Oprah. Interesting choice. Still is not leaving conversation on the idle reset. 45 seconds. Have to imagine this book is not going to go back in blue. Cuts through conversation in front with Oprah. Double agent being queen. He steps in,
And the
goes
end
for
of
the
red.
immediate BB, recognizing that he's behind on pacing, is going to jump over to the green bookcase, slam that in for his fourth mission, but we don't know what the fifth mission is going to be. It's probably going to have to be a drink request from Toby into a purloin. Lazy Bear may be fearing that he's a suspect for this transfer, but it's more so that Opie is just watching for Bug. He goes for the wrong arm Bug, tries to dance. Opie's on top of it, takes the shot. I think Lazy Bear probably needed to go for Purloin rather than trying to land this Bug. It's not even a wrong arm Bug. It is the close arm Bug. And Opie's just ready for it. I mean, I don't know what Lazy Bear's thinking here. You know that Opie is just guarding Ambassador. You can see the laser. It may have just been an attempt at a bug into a dance, but um, yeah, I don't know. I think Lazy Bear really could have had another win there and ends up giving Opie the point. Yeah, I honestly I feel like we need to use different terms because saying wrong implies that it's like not what the spy wanted, but sometimes they do want that arm. So I think we need to use like away, like away arm bug or just a different phrasing because wrong arm is not really wrong anymore. It's like oftentimes the one that cross versus near. Yeah. Opposite arm. Opposite from what? I don't know if I like opposite. Incorrect arm. Far arm. Far arm? No, I don't know if I like farm bug. Okay, now we're going to be switching over to modern. So they played their first 8 on modern. They're playing their second 8 on I'm sorry, on Veranda. Playing their second 8 on modern. Stepping in as rocker. Opie on rocker here. Opie down 3-5. Not a terrible position. It's really only a 1 point difference. If Lazy Bear managed to pick up that last round, it would be a much worse position, obviously. But Opie not too far behind here. This is the Super Venue tournament. It's a first to 9. It's best of like 16. It's 8 on Veranda, 8 on Modern. And then overtime, Gabriel can explain. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Gabriel's probably around. He said something in the Spy Party lobby in terms of how the format would work, but I honestly only remember what I've said so far. I know that it's definitely first to 9. It's definitely first to 9. for this. I don't know if you guys are talking about missions equals points or, but Gabriel said this portion was first time. Lazybear just managing threat here, keeping people high alert for going to statues and such. And OpiWrites playing a fairly slow spy, and I think this is not what he needs to do. I think he needs to do his patented kind of rush, pressure, spy game, because he just really hasn't let one of those rip. And it could be because of the format here. Veranda, not really a venue where that can kind of work, and Modern could also be one of a bit of a struggle where you can't get a rush through. With no tray purloin, it's just a bit harder to really rush this down. To kind of get that ball rolling, you know, when you're going for a rush, you really want to land a green test on something that can frame somebody else, and then as the sniper is catching up and parsing through what had happened is when you're popping off other hardtails, and it's just a little bit harder on the Darren due to the size and the fact that it's not a tray, it's not Toby walking around, so you really only have to start it out with like a green swap. We pick up a fingerprint from the drink as well as the delegate in pocket. We'll step into conversation next to Wheels and Smallman. Let's see if he elects to go for the delegate. Finishes the seduce on Smallman. Progress is okay. Normally you would think this is a bit behind, but on a 4 of 8 with these players, they can usually pretty cleanly get these last missions done with little time left. Stepping in for inspect. Hopefully there's a fingerprint on this. There is. He's going to finish out fingerprint. We've got 2 missions done. We're likely to pick up inspects. We're going to go for the swap. We have a mission win pending because he delegated to Smallman. We also have a pending swap. I don't know if this drink is going to go off in time. We also won't know if the mission win pending ends because, so the delegate time expired. It says mission win pending on the screen, but that's actually just a spectator glitch. It's not mission win pending. And we see the swap. It's green. Lazybear's not instantly shooting. Just kidding. Yes, he is. He's on top of it. Takes the shot out to Rocker to gain himself another point. Up 6-3. Yeah, this is just rough for Opie. He's really got to try to break serve here and get another spy win through. Lazybear stepping in his techs. Opie is really going to need this sniper win to stay in this realistically. I'm liking his laser control. Looks like he's playing pretty confident here. He's pretty snappy on his lowlights. Looks like he's very determined. He's pretty sure of what he wants to do. Lazybear steps into the side statues with the seduction target to go for the sip into flirt on the statue pad for a 51%. Lazybear is just hitting these green flirts every single game. It's absolutely insane. Picks up his first set of inspects, and this play from Lazybear is pretty atypical of how he's played the rest of his set. He's not usually starting at early statues. Most often he's struggling with pacing and finishing near the end of the game, so this could be another one of those switch-ups where Lazybear can throw Opie off. Lazybear as Tex standing at the front of the venue at the window pad, putting a little bit of time in before he chases Smallman to finish up this flirt. Steps into conversation next to Smallman, and what Opie really needs to do is catch these flirt pairings. Throws out the action test, doesn't land the green this time. It's a white up to 85%. And Opie right now seems to mostly just be camping the hardtails, really watching the ambassador for the bug, trying to keep track of purloin, looking for the microfilms, not really paying attention to Lazybear's flirt chasing on Smallman. And again, I think this is just too much movement from Opie. I think that this is, I mean, it could just be preference. You know, if it works for him, it works for him. But I think he needs to slow down a little bit and really start to think a little bit more. I think he's trying to play Lazybear like he tries to play every game. He's trying to have a general formula of here's the routine that I'm going to take, and we were talking about this last night. He wants to have a routine of like, I'm going to check these things and this should work against everybody. But I think to beat someone like Lazybear, you really have to start thinking, what would Lazybear be doing? Not what would any spy be doing, and let me just rely on my routine to catch any spy who's fitting into kind of this formula. And I think he has to try and intuit what Lazybear would be doing and try to read a little bit more of his opponent here, because Lazybear's just, he's really good. And I don't know if you can beat him with just a simple routine. He rejects the drink and heads into statues. I believe he has Delegate in pocket from doing the Delegate glitch, if I saw correctly. Yeah, Opie probably just remembers bar visitors. His highlights probably reserved for mission completions, like inspect finish. We're going to step into the back with an SDA. He does have inspects complete and doesn't have a highlight, so Opie may have missed one of these statue visits, possibly at the beginning. Yeah, and I agree. This is huge. If Lazybear has gotten away with finishing inspects and is not on Opie's radar for it, he could easily take a victory. We do send, Lazybear did have Delegate in pocket from using the Delegate trick. He sends Salmon to the bar, but the timer expires just a few seconds before Salmon's able to take the drink. So Lazybear's plan to finish here and his path to victory halted a little bit.
Banana bread.
Steps in and grabs the banana bread. If Salmon had just taken that drink in time, this would have been a clean and easy win. Lazybear with 25 seconds left and needs a fourth mission. It'll be interesting to see what he elects to go for. The other time it was a ill-advised bug. It looks like it's going to be just a cheese microfilm transfer. He's going to have to yank and run if he wants to avoid overtime, so it looks like he's probably going to be a little bit more patient, and he's willing to go into overtime. 5 seconds left, he's really got to go for it. He's got to hurry and drop it off. It looks like Opie's looking at bar, zooming in on bar, doesn't wait for overtime, and takes the shot onto Sorry. Let's dissect that a little bit and see why the shot came off there. Lazybear taking a point. Did she bring that book to Blue from elsewhere? No, she pulled that straight out. So I think maybe Opie worried that she finished with microfilm right about, where did she put it? Right about here. Even then, if she'd finished with microfilm, he doesn't wait for the OT. It was at 8 seconds. There would have been 2 seconds of OT. There's no reason to shoot that early. So Opie just really feeling the pressure from Lazybear here, anticipating that he's going to be finishing. It could be a reverse flirt pair, and Sorry crediting a flirt finish there at the end with Tex, but I don't know how often they were really next to each other. Inspect, she was at green. Yeah, I don't know. I think just a bit of a nervous shot from Opie there onto Lazybear. So Lazybear picks up the point, and he's in the lead 7-3. He has won a lot of games in a row. All right, we'll see what Opie can do. Again, I think he needs to go for some kind of rush. That's what he's really good at. He can land those action tests when he needs to. Okay, he is switching it up, and he's going to start off exactly what I was saying. A rush on Modern, I think, has to start with a green swap. And I don't even think he waited for the cycle there. I think he picked it up, green tested it, and set it right back down. Did not care about breaking animation set downs, and I believe that he's gotten away clean without getting a highlight. However, he's going to step into the other statues to pick up a highlight, which I kind of like this move because it's going to imprint in Lazy's mind that, oh, Rocker's been to statues, but it's those other ones. And Lazybear zoomed in looking at the ambassador. I don't even know if he knows that the swap has gone off. I don't know if he registered what that statue was prior to it swapping. We'll know if we see a lot of lowlights. And OpiWrites just kind of hanging, watching the laser, seeing what Lazybear's reaction to that swap is going to be. Yeah, I don't think the swap is known. I don't think that he registered what that statue was before it was swapped. Because he's highlight Oprah, who, you know, wasn't at statues prior to that. So I think it just turns into a 3 of 8 for Opie. Oh, he knows he's just thinking, says Pofke. Pofke reading into the mind of Lazybear. It's very possible. I feel like I often have that with Lazybear, where I feel like when I'm watching his sniper, he didn't know something, and then out of nowhere, he takes the correct shot. Not out of nowhere, but at the end, he takes the shot to reveal that he knew all along. So it's very possible, but I don't know. I feel like he would be low lighting. See some flexible lights coming off from Lazybear. Playing it slow. I don't know. I really feel like he doesn't know that the statue was swapped. And OpiWrites heading back to conversation with an SDA. Being very respectful here to Lazybear Sniper, where he's not wanting to flirt too much. Irish was brought
Banana
to a
bread.
low light and then brought back up to a neutral for the fingerprint. Banana bread goes off. Low lights come through. And it's a fake BB. However, it doesn't result in any lighting change for Opie because he was in combo with an SDA, I believe, at the time. So Opie hoping to get a low light there. Typically, I feel like Opie is trying to go for a fake BB if he feels that he's a top suspect. So I think Opie thinks that the swap was noticed. So he goes for the low light, heads in to finish up Inspecs, and now all he's got to do is flirt and contact. He gets a bit lucky with Wheel stopping near him, so he can just hop into a quick conversation, should be able to pop off at least a white test, and does finish up Flirt 100%, just needs real contact with 50 seconds left. Real Double Agent, not in a favorable position for us, is on the other side of the venue picking up the statues, and the closest conversation circle to him contains an SDA, so he won't join that one, as well as the conversation that we're in. The only two filled conversations both have suspected double agents, so the real double agent's not going to join. Opie also doesn't have the option to go for a late game swap here. 20 seconds left. He needs a fourth mission. He's probably a bit tempted by this bug, but I don't think he's going to go for such a bad bug. If he's going to go for a direct purloin, he needed to have left already. 10 seconds left. This is going to have to be a rushed bug at the very end, unless he's going to go for the timeout, thinking that he's such a high-level suspect and probably worried. Goes for the rush bug in the last moment. Lazybear is ready for it. Takes the shot onto Rocker. Point number 8. Again, I don't think bug was the answer here. I think he would have been better off just going and grabbing the list. Or grabbing the list and delegate, maybe demanding and something. I don't know. I mean, this bug is just, they're going to be ready for this, you know. Lazybear is going to be ready for that. What else is he watching? Could be watching the guest list, I suppose, but if you've already done swap and you think that you're seen for the swap, then he's no longer watching swap. Yeah, a bit unlucky for OpiWrites. Wasn't able to get a good contact. If Opie could have gotten that contact off, it probably would have been a win for him. So Opie really down now. Lazybear has won something like 4 or 5 games in a row. Opie just really hasn't been able to break through Lazybear's gameplay. The first few rounds was very back and forth. Lazybear struggling on Spy a bit to really pace it out, but he's kind of found his footing and is now able to really finish or get a Civ shot at the end. We'll see if Lazybear can close it out or if OpiWrites will start his comeback. Just waiting for the players to set up the game. Okay, looks like we're going to be heading in shortly. Lazybear stepping in as Irish. And again, let's see if Opie can maybe break his typical sniper routine here and try to read into a little bit of Lazybear's behavior and decision making. It's not Opie's MO. He's not very much a behavioralist. He has a couple little moments where he kind of does things that are of that nature, but for the most part, he is, for lack of a better term, a camper or maybe a threat manager, right? He's keeping track of people who have certain missions done, and that can be hard to beat someone that's a little more, I don't know, esoteric like Lazybear, who is doing oddball things. I think this playstyle of a very campy sniper is good against someone's spy like maybe Ryu, who's playing just a very clean, flowcharty, like good spy game. But when you're playing someone like a Lazybear or Pofke, who are doing weird things, who are setting up frames, who are setting up like kind of double bluff frames and things like that, it can be pretty hard to get the correct shots. So you've got to try to read into what they would be doing. We'll see what OpiWrites does this game. Lazybear steps into conversation, works on his flirt up to 54%, is pretty close to the ambassador, not in standing bug range, but could go, okay, it would have been a fake contact. That's a suspected double agent. No bug attempt, but Lazybear could have been camping for the briefcase. Goes for the briefcase, but unfortunately Kane steals it from us, who's also a highlight. Has to cancel and head to another conversation with the real double agent. Starts his talk. It's going to be an innocent talk in conversation with just himself and the real double agent. We'll probably see a real banana bread. We do. It is going to be a white.
Banana bread.
We'll see if it's going to be a talk cancel. We do go for the talk cancel, and the DA splits for us. Great timing. Pretty good contact. So far, Opie only nets 2 lowlights. And Lazybear now with 54% on his flirt, contact complete, and 2 minutes left on the clock. We did see that he wanted to get fingerprint started. We'll see maybe Lazybear is going to forego fingerprint now that he doesn't have one and there's only 1:50 left. But for now, it looks like he's going to try to wrap up flirt with Duke in the back. Joins conversation, talks pretty quickly, lands the green test up to 100% and goes for the stop talk. That reads to me that Lazybear recognizes that he's not a high-level suspect, probably just a neutral light. So he's willing to cut those corners a little bit and break that etiquette. I feel that Spy, or Spy Party in general, really is like a time management game. The Spy is trying to find little ways to speed run their match and save little bits of time, because etiquette is a trap that throws you off on your pacing. So I think that a good spy is not always following etiquette. You're following etiquette when you need to. But when you're not a suspect, you can be willing to break it to save yourself those little bits of seconds so that you don't run out. Picks up a delegate in pocket and is going to head to the front left conversation circle with a double agent, and he may be going for a delegate to DA, which I would love to see. Does delegate to the known double agent. It's a play that I love to see because it's not necessarily expected. From Opie's perspective, it could be that Lazybear delegated to an SDA, like that he didn't. No, I guess he would know because it is labeled. Sorry was holding a book, so she's going to dump the book and then head to the bar. Meanwhile, OpiWrites has highlit Lazybear, so I believe that he is onto this purloin. He's keeping it on screen, rotating left and right, also keeping the AMBA in view so that C can't take the bug. Guest list is taken, it disappears. It's visible on screen. Ends up low-lighting the spy. Opie low-lights Lazybear for that purloin and is switching a bunch of his lights. Highlight on a general. Lazybear out of time. 5 seconds left. Is going to go for the crash bug as a low light. Lands the bug on the way to bar, and because Lazybear is a low light, it's going to hit overtime, and Opie takes the incorrect shot onto one of the twins, resulting in Lazybear winning the tournament with 9 points. That was a fatal error by Opie. He was onto him here and ends up low lighting the spy, and Lazybear able to get away with this bug. Let's take a look at what it would look like if Lazybear was a neutral, because I think that Opie's probably catching that bug if he's a neutral light here. Actually, it's a pretty hard bug, but you do catch the pathing. You do catch the double back by Irish here. I think she kind of hits that, and then he has to go in because he got bounced off. Is there a third place match? I hope that they're not going to do a third place match between the top two. Is that where this is going, or do they have a third place match? Let me take a look at the bracket. But the third place match is just also Opie and Lazybear. So I don't think that. I think that just means there's no third
Yeah,
place.
game's over.
Yeah.
Match is over.
They were asking like a third place match, and I'm like, I think it would just be them playing
No,
again. That would be
it
stupid.
would be us playing again, and I don't
Yeah.
want to do that because I'm already playing like shit today.
I mean, it
Hello.
was. Hello, OpiWrites joining and Lazybear joining. By the way, good set to both of you. GG's. Um,
Good set. My sniper was questionable.
Well,
Very
Lazybear did a
questionable.
good job of like, and I don't know if this was on purpose, and I'd love to hear the first few rounds just showing pacing problems, right? And that could be perceived as conditioning the sniper. It's just like, oh, I'm really struggling to finish, and I'm gonna have to force through time ads and like bad bugs at the end. And then all of a sudden was like, oh no, I know how to pace it properly, and I'm gonna
I've played
switch you up.
Lazybear enough to know that he can pace whatever the fuck he wants. Honestly.
What at the beginning of like the first few Veranda games, Lazybear, were you just not warmed up? Like, was your like what was up with the pacing there?
Quite honestly, my pacing on Veranda is already bad. Like I don't have, in general, good pacing on that map. So I feel like I struggle with it in general. I usually rely on time ads to kind of finish.
Oh yeah, that's what we saw a lot of.
I was honestly feeling like complete shit before this set started. So I was like, I'm just gonna hope that he does like a hard tell. So like I basically kept shooting like green swaps. It's like, oh, that's green, shoot. That's green, shoot. Like I hoped it didn't do stuff because I felt like my sniper was just like I misremembered
Yeah.
statues like twice.
Yeah, no, that didn't help me, by the way. That did not help me. Because in that fucking modern game, just shoot Smallman or Ober, damn you.
No, but I was like, I think that was 3-3. What the fuck? But would Opie really do this and then go straight in and insta talk? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Clearly, like, obviously I would. I've done enough run versus you. Come on, you know this.
Yeah, I was talking a little
was...
bit at the end, Opie, about and kind of referencing back to the conversations we were having last night of like the way that I think you try to play sniper or would teach it or whatever is like have a routine of checking these hard tells and trying to do just kind of a general game plan that should work against every spy. Do you feel that you just weren't doing it good enough, or do you feel that that's not going to work against someone like Lazybear who kind of does weird things?
So the main issue with my sniper today is this. I just honestly, I just wasn't feeling good. Like, so there's a level of focus that I get for most competitive sets that really like keeps me in it. Like keeps me like. I mentioned the Lazybear in game chat. I was like, it's a bad day when I don't remember that you have two sets of statues, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Was that on modern?
Yeah, it was. He was playing cowboy on modern.
Yeah, we knew that as soon as he didn't get highlight as soon as he didn't get highlight, we were like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, because like at that point when I'm missing people going to statues twice and not remembering that they've been to statues once before already, like there is something going on with my sniper at that point where it's like, oh, okay, there's some issue going on, and it's usually just me feeling badly, or just kind of not being as focused as I should be. Which it happens from time to time, and I try to make it not happen, but also this set has been like just put off for so long, and all.
Well, I think we all have those days, right? Where it's kind of like, I just want this a little bit over with, like I'm not feeling it kind of thing.
Yeah, Lazybear might have had one of those the other weekend.
I did. Yeah, I was like, actually, that match, I didn't want to tell Opie, but like, I need to go in 28 minutes. But I was afraid if I told you that, you would just time out and like,
I would never do that. Okay, for one, that's boring. For two.
Yeah, true. And then you rushed and I couldn't get you anyway, so I don't really have a good excuse. So
yeah. Yeah, but it's just the I failed to play any good sniper games. Like first game of Veranda, the only reason I won that is because I just caught the time at immediately.
Yeah.
Like, and then
Yeah.
the next game I tunneled on Smallman because I thought I found him to swap, and
Right. Yeah.
and then from there it just kind of crumbled. The Seek game.
I feel like on your spy OP, you know, a lot of what you're vocal about, and I think is good, is your rush games where you can sprinkle in these games where you're just busting out green action test hard tells, and it's hard for the sniper to catch up, and you enter mission win before they can really parse all of the info. But these two venues makes that quite hard. With Veranda being a 5 of 8, it's hard to really get that going. You said you can?
I can, yeah.
I would say Veranda is one of the better ones, but Modern not so much.
Yeah,
maybe.
Modern is hard. I think Bar Toby makes it really hard. Like a green Purloin is a great starter to a rush, and without that being
Yeah.
possible.
Also, I do like for all that I just kind of played bad. I do want to complain about this one mission win Lazybear had as twin. Like this fucking
Right.
bug is so dumb.
Which one?
This so
What venue was it?
It's Veranda.
Veranda.
Last game, he's playing Bling Twin, and like 3:34 in the game, he steps in this conversation. Ambassador comes by him, and I'm already like moving over to angle for it, for this reverse drive-by bug, and Ambassador bounces around the bug perfectly. And the only reason I don't credit it is I'm like, he would never go for the he would never, he knows I'm angling for this shit.
Yeah.
He would
Yeah. I felt that angle, but when he was but when Amber was like hugging me to that degree, I'm like, fuck it. But the problem is, like, you know, we're both in this set. We're kind of like, screw it, let's just do it. So you go for those bugs, you know what I mean?
Because
You
like,
go for those plays.
I was like, yeah, I mean, he knows I'm angling for this, and without this stupid bouncing, like even with the hugging, if the ambassador is pathing anywhere near normally, I can see it.
Yeah. I think we both did plays that were just blind to the other sniper. I think both of our snipers were, because there was one point where I went to blue books as pearls, and then I quickly go to swap for mom, and then I go back to blue books and walk away with it.
I noticed.
And then you never noticed the swap, I think, and it's like,
oh, this one, yeah. We were talking about that on commentary. I think this is that round where, I felt like you didn't notice the swap, like the whole game. I think it was this one. Maybe it's a different one. I feel like there was a game where you didn't notice swap, and people were saying you did, and it wasn't this game. But
no, I definitely, there was a swap I definitely did not notice.
Yeah. It was the back left statue, but the far farthest right one.
And of course it's an SDA, so that was.
Well, that's probably at least part of the reason I missed the swap, because I had no reason to believe that it would be swapped, so I had no reason to like look at it and be like, oh wait, what? This is a swap, you know?
Yeah.
I think
if you notice that late, it's gonna be hard.
I think I do remember like thinking like, oh, was this 3? I thought this was like 3-1-3-1 on the right side, and it was 3-2-3-2, or like I thought they were identical at some point, but I was like, like when it's 1 and 2 on the statues, sometimes you're just like, maybe I just mixed it up.
Yeah.
If it had swapped to a 3, I'd probably have noticed. I'd be like, oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, this felt like our Veranda finals, actually, to some extent. A little bit like our Veranda finals.
Well,
we were really tired. Yeah, we were playing a lot of Veranda.
What do you guys think about playing a set where it's a lot of the same venue over and over? Do you feel like a meta starts to develop like between the two of you, or is it just kind of normal gameplay the whole time?
I sort of get tired of it, in competitive at least, because like you feel a bit obligated to try new things, like try not do the same thing every game.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like me, but yeah, if I do the same opponent, I guess. Yeah, I think it's interesting, but it depends. Like if I play someone like Opie on these venues, it's sort of at least when we're both like on shape, it becomes like, how can I get a spy win? It's how it feels. And I don't actually enjoy that kind of feeling. I would rather have venue which are a little more like, plausible to get several spy wins. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my sniper's been feeling good mostly recently, but obviously, have an off day.
Well, you're not losing Elo on this one, so.
Oh, you guys didn't play with ranked on?
I don't have it installed.
I don't think
on there, Lazybear.
What the heck, Lazybear? Install it, you little shit. Also, I don't know if Pwned is doing Elo for venue tournaments.
He's not.
Okay, fantastic. I'm glad because my performance in venue tournaments is like has always been like a cut below my usual.
I'm not glad. I think my elo would have gone up a lot.
Yeah, your elo would be quite high.
Yeah. But I understand it because it's a little artificial to play a single venue for that long or two venues, and
Yeah.
so
Just and also I need to today in general has been a bit off for me, like not even just Spy Party wise, because
Yeah,
it's
you let me beat you 6-4 in a mock summer cup.
I said not even Spy Party wise.
wow.
Because I woke up and woke up at 6 a.m. from a fucking stress dream about having failed all my classes, then play games for a couple hours, fall back asleep until 1 or 2 p.m. and then realize, oh, I've got a match in like an hour.
Yeah, I was also like, oh snap, I have. Oh yeah.
All right, we
Oh
scheduled
right.
this.
Let's
I
get
like-
this over with.
I plan my days around matches. Like I know the night before and I get up.
The thing is about this match, is that Gabriel scheduled it for us under the guise of an extra hidden cup match.
Yeah. He messaged both of us with the login details.
Wait,
and
are
stuff
you
like
saying
that,
that you're both in the hidden cup?
No, he's saying surprise hidden cup match. Here's the login details and then the account that you should use. And we're sitting there like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And it was very funny because he actually used our alts. He just said he's like
it's our alts.
logged as small mem.
Nice.
I saw it coming, but it was funny.
Yeah. So when I don't schedule it myself, it's much easier to be like, oh right, there's a match that I have to play, and and I also haven't eaten all day, and it's 4 p.m. and it's like
Well, I am happy that I won it because I felt like, oh, I have 4 slots. Let's not try to kind of dump through the finals.
I'm honestly slightly glad that you won as well. Just I wouldn't throw, but also I don't want to play another match.
So
Right,
if
yeah.
Opie had won, you guys would have to play another one or something?
Yeah, we would have
Yeah.
Aquarium finals.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And
It's nice to avoid that.
This is a bit too much for me right now. Oh god.
I didn't even
Like
notice this going.
I it's not like I threw and I'm throwing out that I had a bad day, right? But Lazybear played better than I did, right? And it happens.
Yeah, that's how it is. Sometimes at the higher level, one is off, and that's enough. You get spy wins, and
I mean, it's like how I got Rio, in PAX Invitational, right? Like I don't ever expect to beat Rio 7-0 unless he's having an off day. So
yeah, I think at a certain level, you have to have some kind of tilt or some kind of off to get that score, unless you play your complete heart out.
I mean, even then, right? Like you can play your complete heart out and still lose a couple spy games just because good snipers.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, well, GG's to both of you. I'm gonna hop off and play some Diabotical. I'll get this VOD cut up and sent to Gabriel and post it or something like that. At some point, so you guys will have it.
Cool. Yep. Nice.
See ya.